chapter 14, the costs of being a disciple. And there is a principle that I found here that I really like. So I'll read verse 26. If you want to be my follower, you must love me more than your own father and mother, wife and children, brother and sisters, yes, more than your own life. Otherwise, you cannot be my disciple, and you cannot be my disciple if you don't carry your own cross and follow me. But don't begin until you count the cost. For who will begin construction of a building without first getting the estimates and then checking out to see if there is enough money to pay the bills? So here, before I go to the principle, there is here, Jesus was saying for us to be his disciple, we must love him above everything. We must love him above the way we love our fathers, our mothers, our wives, our children, our brothers, and our sisters. Yes, more than our own life. And one of the ways to gauge if you love Jesus more, or if you love your family more, or your friends more, just think about this. Is there a time when God required you to do something and you did not do it because you were afraid of what your family would have said, or you were afraid of what your friends would have said, or you were afraid of how people would see you? So as a result of that, you did not do what you're supposed to do. In that particular point in time, you somehow love other people than Jesus because you fear them more, and because you fear them more, you obeyed or you submitted to them more. So this is one of the ways you can gauge if you love God more, or if you love other things, or even your own self. Is there a time when God required you to let go of something, but you were adamant to do so because it was something you really loved, or because you're not willing or ready to let go of it? Anytime we choose other things more than we choose Jesus at a particular point, we show that perhaps we love other things, our families, our friends, our own self, more than how we love Jesus. That is why we need to carry our own cross, standing up to our families, standing up to our friends, even standing up to our own self, and going through that pain of letting go. It is not easy, but we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So anytime God requires you to do something, do it. Carry that cross, bear whatever it is, whether it is shame, whether it is embarrassment, whether it is fear. Face it, carry that cross, and do it. Because this way, I believe practically we are showing that we love Jesus. That's for me. And then now verse 28, but don't begin until you count the cost. So even before you begin, ask yourself, this thing that God has asked me to do, what are the costs? What will it require of me? What will I have to let go? What will I have to adopt? What will I benefit? What will I lose? And I'm not saying you do this so that if you find that you have more to lose and then you say nope, I'm out. No, do this so that you prepare yourself psychologically, such that even if after doing the profit loss kind of a thing, and you realize you're falling more into the loss, you tell yourself, as long as it's God who has told me to do this, I will still obey. And then go ahead and obey, even when you think you're actually losing. So I'm not asking you to count costs so that if you find that you're losing more than you're gaining, on a helper. No, if it's something God has told you to do, just count your cost. What will just sit down? What will this require of me? What will I have to do? What will I have to learn? What will I have to let go? And once you've learned everything, then now you'll be mentally prepared even as you partake that journey. And then the second thing here, I'm learning to make this a principle in my life, the counting cost principle. Most of the times I just do things. You wake up in the morning, or you even pray about it and say, I desire to start this business, I desire to do 1, 2, 3. But beyond the prayer and beyond that decision, I don't count cost. So before you start any business, before you embark on any journey, before you do anything, make sure you sit down and you count the cost. Ask yourself, this project that I want to start, this ministry that I want to start, this business that I want to start, what will it require of me? One, it will eat a lot of my time. I will have to cut the amount of time I watch movies. I will have to say no to hangouts. This is what it will require, this amount of finances that I don't have yet, so I will have to get a second or a third job. Count the cost. What will that thing require of you? What are the costs? What time, what energy will it require? And then what could be the possible fruits, such that you have a clear picture of what you want to do. So count the cost before doing anything. Here you are told a king does not go to war and before they evaluate themselves if they are going to win or they're going to lose. Nobody starts building a house before they assess if they can have the money or not to take that project to a certain level. Now beyond that, whatever decision you're making, whether you want to get married, you want to have kids, you want to, pursue this friendship, pursue this endeavor, take this course, take whatever it is that you want to do, count the cost. What will it require of you? This is what will require of me. Are there any costs? This is the cost. Maybe it is the fee, maybe it is this money, maybe it is this time. What are the profits? One, two, three. Then look at it and say, mm-hmm, is it making sense? Am I losing more? Am I gaining? And even if you decide to continue, at least now you'll continue with you're mentally prepared. Because sometimes we just wake up in the morning and then you say, I want to be a doctor. And then voila, you pursue being a doctor. Yes, you've prayed, but you've not even asked yourself for you to be a doctor. Or if you're in that age you're pursuing a course, what will that require of you? For you to be a financial advisor, what will it require of you? For you to become a filmmaker, what will it require of you? What are the costs? What does a filmmaker do? How does it look like? How do they live? Make sure you count the cost. Have a clear line of this is what it will require of me, this is what I have to do, this is what I have to let go, this is what I have to learn, this, and then make your choice. If you're proceeding, at least you're mentally prepared. This is what I'm supposed to do. If you are giving up, at least now you know why you are letting go. But don't just embark into a business, a project, a career without having a full analysis or assessment of what you're supposed to do. The principle of counting the cost before doing something. So this is like a lesson I am deciding, choosing that I'll implement moving forward. This is the second time I am doing this. I had recorded my reflections and then they disappeared. Just like that, I can't find the footage. Anyway, if you're wondering why I have this over here, make sure you check out Vlogmas Day 16 to find out why. But for now, let's get into the first story. The first story is a cute story. It's called Dr. Saint Nick. Very cute. It's giving Hallmark vibes to the T, to the latter. I loved the story anyway. So it's about a doctor, it's about a girl who unfortunately gets widowed and while she's still pregnant. The only thing you need to note that is when she got married, that her marriage was it was not marriage of convenience, it was a marriage for survival. So she was in an orphanage, so she partnered between her and another and her friend, and they decided to like come together, join forces so that they can survive. And then the man, the late husband, wanted to be a father, so the girl was like, let's do this. Unfortunately, the man passes on, and now here comes the girl. She's called Annie. She stays. She's left widowed while pregnant. From nowhere, she realizes she had an aunt who had left her a small ranch somewhere. So she decides to go to that place. It's called Wyoming. That's why I'm calling it somewhere, because I can't pronounce it. So when she goes there, she meets this cute doctor who helps her. On the first day she arrives there, she meets this cute doctor who helps her. And of course, like any Hallmark movie, although this is a novella, a Christian novella, one thing leads to the other and they end up falling in love and so on and so forth. So there is a villain appearing somewhere about a girl who wants the doctor, but the doctor doesn't want her. Cute story, Dr. Saint Nick, cute story. I love it. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 4.3 rating. If you can find this novel, I don't know where you get it. It's called Dr. Saint Nick. Let me see. Dr. Saint Nick by Jeannie Smith Cash. Dr. Saint Nick by Jeannie Smith Cash. If you can find it somewhere, read it. It's a very cute novel and I'd recommend it to you any day, anytime. I proceeded to read the second novel, which is called Rescuing Christmas by Linda Lyle. So the premise for this novella is there is a girl, Chris, whose fiancé breaks up the engagement, I believe, on her birthday, and later on, she decides to go snowmobiling, whereby she is trapped under snowstorm, and there's a park ranger that comes to rescue her. And this park ranger is her ex-fiancé. Then they are trapped in a cabin for about 3 days, and due to all that time, they have to talk about their issues. It is during those 3 days that the girl realizes she was actually at fault. She apologizes, which was a good thing. I believed her character experienced some character development. She apologizes and so on and so forth, and then they don't get back together immediately, but after the snowstorm ends, they all go back to the various homes, and then later on the guy goes to look for her, and one thing leads to the other, and they end up getting married. So I gave this a 4.1, although initially I didn't like it, but now that I've reread it, it was actually a cute story. Yes, so let's see what my reflections on them are. Second story is called Rescuing Christmas by Linda Line, and I see why. Remember, I am rereading this novella. I see why I didn't like the novella back then. However, I think my memory exaggerated. It's not as if I dislike it that much, but in my mind I was like, oh, I don't like that novella. Oh, but now that I've reread it, it's not that bad. The female lead is quite annoying. I understand. I get it. However, she develops, by the end of the novella, she accepts her fault and she apologizes to the male lead. So the female lead is the type that is independent to an annoying level, to the type that she's too independent. She does not even involve her partner in the decision she's make. She's dependent like that. She just wakes up, decides, and does things by herself, yet she has a partner whom they're supposed to work together. Yeah, so I'd give it a 4.1. It was not so bad because at least in the end of the day, the female lead does apologize, and also it's very realistic because we find that the male lead is avoidant, whereas the female lead is the type that she likes to talk about issues here and now and now and now and now, and that is what happens most of the time. You find an avoidant will be attracted to such a personality, and then you need to find ways on how to come to an agreement or to communicate for better. So it wasn't so bad. I don't know why I had issues with it. I proceeded to read the third novel called Jolly Holiday by Jerry Odell, where a firefighter saves a child, and this child decides that she likes the firefighter so much, such that she started matchmaking the firefighter with her mom, which so cute. Led one thing to another, and the two did end up together. The only thing I'll say is I really did like this child. This child was so amazing. So basically that is the premise. The firefighter saves the child plays the matchmaker between the two, and they eventually end up in a relationship. So let's find out what I thought. The third novella is Jolly Holiday by Jerry Odell. Now, this is the novella that, according to me, I don't know why I liked it then. It's not as if I don't like it now, but I didn't feel it. This second time as I was reading this collection of novellas, I didn't feel it. Although the premise looked like something I could like, but I didn't feel it. So we have a firefighter helps a child from choking, and then the child decides that she likes the firefighter for her mom and goes ahead and tries to play the matchmaker, which works. Eventually they end up together. However, I didn't quite like this novella because I felt that it was too long. I believe the plot was too dragged. It could have been shorter than what it was. Also, I found that the male lead was not romantic. I don't know, the way he was talking about his feelings, the romance was rushed, and then I didn't see them fall in love. I didn't feel their romance. Their romance was more of they fell in love. You just get to hear they fell in love. You don't see, and there was no the romance was weird. It was off for me. So the romance was off for me, and it was weird for me. That is why I think I didn't like it so much. So I'd give it a 3.9. However, when I read it first, apparently it was one of my favorites. So now that I've reread it again, I give it a 3.9 because I find that the romance, either it was too rushed, it was not even too rushed. You don't see it happening. All of a sudden the guy's like, oh, and now I know I like the girl. You're like, when, how, where, what did I miss? You don't quite see it. So I think that's it for me with the romance evil. That is what actually I had a problem with, because the male lead was not giving me I'm in love vibes. He was just uttering very good things, by the way, very good realistic things that I'm not looking after when I'm reading a romantic
romantic novel, but that's up to me. Still, I'd recommend it you read it if you can find it wherever you can find it. Jolly Holiday by Jerry Odell, and find out for yourself. For me, the romance was rushed. It was not giving I'm in love kind of vibes from the man. And but the only cute thing is the child. The child carried the entire novella. Apart from the child, there was nothing much. However, I'd still recommend you read it because 3.9 is not so bad of a rating. Yep. So that is what I think of these three novellas.